Hello YouTube, this is Brian here. Today we're going to be talking with New Year's in mind and all the opportunities for a fresh start about the top 10 ways that I feel as though our society has taken a little bit of a step backwards or perhaps regressed in some manner. So let's get to the list. There's a lot to talk about. Number one is going to be the lack of backwards compatibility. Now, with this, I'm talking about mostly in manners of listening to music or watching film. You know how the CD was replaced really fast by a variety of digital forms of music. Now there's a variety of forms of streaming with Bluetooth, even in your car. It just seems like the word obsolete has been thrown around way too quickly and way too often. And it seems like kids today don't even have any opportunity to know what a cassette, what a VHS, what a CD is, what a vinyl record is, because nothing is backwards compatible. You can't play any of those forms of things practically on a PS4 or an Xbox, you know, not just an old Xbox, but you know what I mean. Um, anyways, let's get to number two on here, um, which is organic food being more expensive when less happens to it. I'm a vegetarian, so this is especially annoying to me. Why is this a specialty item? Uh, when it takes a scientist practically to read the ingredients on processed food, and it's way less healthy, you know. I think that's totally unfair, and it's complete bullshit, you know. Number three is how sports teams burn out their players way too fast, especially in baseball. I talked about this a lot yesterday, so I'm not going to say a great deal about it. But especially, just a minute, sorry, I'm getting, sorry, I got like ABG popping up. They're a virus in and of themselves. Anyways, yeah, what I was trying to say is that sports teams burn out their players way too fast. I talked about it very recently, um, and so I don't want to repeat myself a great deal, but especially in baseball and with pitchers, there's a lot of Tommy Johns nowadays, a lot of knee surgeries, and people are considered old at 29. So it's hard to get a favorite player and buy their jersey, um, you know, before they have gray hair, they're already retired. Um, yeah. Number four on here is going to be how games, you know, like video games are extremely linear. They're almost as linear as films because all the focus goes into the marketing and into the graphics. So there's not a lot of replay value. You know, if I was watching, or sorry, if I was playing um, MVP Baseball 2004. That game's over a dozen years old, but there's still a lot of room for creativity and for different season modes and for franchise modes. There's a lot of stuff to do in that game. It's not just one linear voice acted storyline that's like watching a CGI film. Number five on here is going to be how celebrity scandals are dominating the news and how it's a complete distraction from relevant stories. I mean, look who's in office, for God's sake. I'll stop there. Number six is going to be corporations getting off scot-free because they can pay their lawyers more. Now, I won't mention them by name, Roseburg, but there's this wood chopping company in my town that is pretty much the biggest company in town, and they pretty much get off scot-free with anything they want, pollution-wise or noise level-wise, because they're, again, the biggest place in the entire town by far. So they get to do whatever they want, and it's almost like a mob level thing. It's bullshit, you know. Number seven on here is going to be how every movie is CGI, so there's less talented acting. I think in 20 years there's not even going to be an Oscars, pretty much because everyone will be animated, so they can't show up to the awards. Number eight is going to be the lack of discussion on YouTube. Now, 10 years ago or 11 years ago when I started doing this back in 2007, I think, when I was still a kid, but there was a bunch of YouTube discussion in the wrestling community, and pretty much people would talk. People would talk about the reviews of the show and whether it sucked or whether it was good and worth watching, and especially pay-per-views since you had to order them. Um, but slowly people started dropping like flies, and there's no more intelligent discussion. It's been replaced by Twitter and a bunch of angry, politically correct d-bags, ending other people's careers over something they said in 2007. It's just stupid. It's much less civil. Number nine is going to be how diet has become a fad, and the standard American diet spells sad actually, SAD, standard American diet, and that's probably the least healthy way you could eat. Um, so watch what you put into your mouth, obviously. Um, Number 10 on this list is going to be that everybody good and everybody talented is in a fucking cell or they're dead. So it seems like the 21st century has produced very little interesting talent. I once made a video on my top 10 favorite historical people, and it was mostly from the 19th and the 18th centuries. It seems like this century has produced very little people of interest or of memorability. It doesn't seem like 20 years from now I could make a similar video uh, of people from this time frame. There's just nobody that memorable or unique or dignified. Everybody are a bunch of jackasses now in terms of celebrities and politicians. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I love you guys. I hope that you have a good holiday season. Christmas is coming up in just a few days. I hope you get some cool presents. I love you guys. I'm out.